Blessed love, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to each and everyone. How you guys doing on this beautiful Sunday evening? What's going on? What's going on? Shout out to each and everyone. Shout out to all the people out there who trying to do something. Shout out to all the gardeners out there who trying to put something into the ground. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about it's not too late to grow something. No, it's not too late. Because right now we're still in spring. We didn't even hit the summer as yet. So we still have 3 months in the summer that we actually can grow something. So we have 3 months that we actually can grow something. So it's really not too late to plant something. It's definitely not too late. There's a lot of crop you could plant within this season and still able to harvest something from them. So it's really not too late to plant something. Many crops you could plant. There's a lot of short crop. There's a lot of short crop. There's a lot of crops that produce 40 in 45 days, which is many type of squash, many different type of squash produce in 45 days. There's beans you could plant. You could also plant corn. You could also plant okra. You could set okra seed now and still able to harvest okra in the before the frost. So there's a lot you could plant. We also have cucumber. Cucumber, you could plant cucumber in this time because it's cucumber start producing very fast. So you could plant cucumber. If you have a cool area, you could also grow lettuce because lettuce don't like too much heat. Hey, NASA goat, what's up? NASA the goat, what's up? Hey, Bando Frone, how you doing? Thank you all for being here. What's going on, guys? All right. So yes, guys, we're talking about gardening and we're talking about it's not too late to start planting. So there's a lot of things you could do in this season. You could start propagating, you could start rooting your fruit trees, you could start splitting your plants. Now is a good time to start splitting some of your herbs, the roots, split them up and transplant them in different pots or in different areas. Now is the time because we're still in spring. When the summer come, it's different. You could also try to some of the plants. You could also try to earlier. You could try to earlier. All this time is good time to do these things. You pepper. You could also plant pepper, but the thing with pepper, you might have to overwinter them. Why? Because pepper take a few months before they start producing, and then when they start producing, it also takes some time for that pepper to get there. So within that time, you might need a greenhouse. If you have a greenhouse, you can actually grow, you can actually have a long growing season. Hey, you too, Whitey, how you doing? Thank you guys for being here. I still watch it. What? I still plant watermelon. Okay, that's wonderful, man. That's awesome. Right. Also, yes, watermelon, you still have time to plant watermelon. I mean, the garden season is not over. You still have a lot you could plant. There's a lot of beans you could plant. Black eye beans. Black eye beans, you could plant black eye beans now. You could plant groundnuts. Peanuts, you could plant peanuts. Peanuts is in this season, May, June, is a great time to plant peanuts because you ain't got to worry about that cold weather. And you know what, guys? what I've seen with peanut, if you leave peanut in the ground, it actually comes back. Yes, you have a lot of black eyed peas. Yes, I have a lot of black eyed peas. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Yes, peanut. If you harvest peanut and you leave peanut back in the ground, they come back. I've seen it. Well, that may be if you're growing in the south. If you're growing in the north, it might be a little different. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button. I truly appreciate it. All right, this is a garden chat tonight. So let's make this happen. Gardening in the night. Yes. So when we talk about even Milan, there's a cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, I'm actually growing cantaloupe right now. And I now set the seed and they already germinate. So I'm getting ready to transplant them. Huge like, all right, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, cantaloupe. I also have many different type of cucumber. The thing about cucumber is cucumber start producing very fast. And if you really know to take care of them, they will just continue producing for a long period of time. So cucumber is a good plant. You also could plant celery. You could also plant parsley. You could also plant different type of squash. You could also plant string beans. You could also plant lettuce. But like I now mentioned, lettuce need to be planted in a cool area. All right, because lettuce do like hot sun. Brassica, maybe you could try plant brassica collard greens. Collard greens because collard greens will survive and also it will go right through the fall and come back and last through the winter. So collard greens is also a good plant to plant in this time. Corn, like I now mentioned, you could plant corn because you still have enough time. Right at this moment, you basically have a lot of time to plant. You have a lot of time still to plant. There's many things you can still plant and able to harvest. If you set in seed, do some research and find out how long they take before harvest time. Because you want to make sure anything you plant you able to harvest from them. If you cannot harvest from them, then it don't make sense planting them. Something take 120 days, which is 4 months. Something take 90 days, which is 3 months. Something take 45 days, which is a month and a half. A month and a quarter, 15 days. So, hey, Clipty, what's up, man? Thank you for being here. Yes, so there's a lot you could plan within this time. So I will not say garden season is over. No, garden season is not over. It still have a lot of time because we're still in the spring and June, we have the whole of June left. We have July, we have August, and we have almost done in September. So you actually have 90 days. You have at least 100 days before the frost. Yes, you have at least 100 days. So within that 100 days is wise to plant crop 90 days, 45 days. Why I'm saying that? Because they could start producing and then they could give you another crop before the frost. This is why it's good to start planting early in the spring so the plants can get to produce the amount you would like them to produce. All right? Because some squash, I grow squash already, that their vines grow up to 10 feet long and they was producing continuously. So once once they have the time, they could produce. Once there's vine borers, There's vine borers that also destroy our squash. Sometimes we have beautiful squash and the vine borers start messing with the vines and we start losing them. So I have a remedy that I using this year. I'm not gonna say anything yet. I'm gonna natural remedy. I'm gonna do it, use it. Then if it won't, then I'm gonna talk about it. But these vine borers really mess up our squash because sometimes it cut the vines of the squash, and sometimes if you ain't able to bury that part of the vines, you could lose the squash. You see what I'm saying? So in this time, garden season is way from over. You have enough time to grow. You have enough time to plan, but do your research and figure out what you can get at least a second crop from. Instead of trying to grow crop, you have like 100 growing days left. Don't try to grow crop for 4 months because you're not gonna get enough harvest from that. Look at crop you could do for 3 months, which is 90 days or 45 days. Short crop. In the summer, which is June, July, you still can plant, but now you're looking for short crop. What is short crop? 45 days crop. Because you want to able to have one, maybe two harvests. Say for instance, you grow in squash and squash will harvest and produce and produce once it have the time. So if it have the time, you could get several squash from one plant. But if it don't have the time, then you might only have get one harvest. So it makes sense to look at the days. How much days does a squash take to produce? How much days does cucumber take to produce? How much days does corn take to produce? How much days does potato take to produce, sweet potato? How much days from eggplant take to produce? Sometimes you got to take time and do research because this is how you be successful. You have to know how much days remain. So if you know how much days remain, you know what to plan. Only in the spring is different because now you have enough time. This is why sometimes we start certain crop indoors. The reason why we start crop indoors is to make sure it get enough time that we can get a good harvest. If we wait until spring to now throwing pepper seed in the soil, that's way too late, especially if you don't have a greenhouse or you don't have somewhere to take them indoors to overwinter them. No, if you start growing peppers at least 6 weeks before your last frost, that's really good because the pepper already start growing. So when you bring them out and transplant them in the ground, they still have enough time before to produce. So guys, do your research. It's not too late to grow anything. If you grow it like yam, it's too late for yam. Too late. Definitely too late for yam. Crop that grows, yam is something we start indoors. Why we start yam indoors? Because yam take at least a year before you could get production from them. So you have to start them indoors, then bring them out in the spring and put them in the ground or even keep them in the container once the container is big enough. You have to make sure any crop that stays 6, 7, 8 months, you it's better to start them indoors. All right. So garden season is not over. You have enough time to start growing. So guess what? You can grow something. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Happy gardening, everyone. And let's keep gardening. Thank you guys. You guys have a blessed and wonderful night. Good night. Happy gardening.